There's 2 records where a neighbor has called the police on him for choking me, for holding me down. There was a time in Virginia when...
Enjoy the video. Hit the like button.
Then if you'd raise your right hands for me. Do each of you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, starting with you, Mr. Scott?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. And Ms. Olvaya?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Before I involve Ms. Teague, which she'll be highly involved, I'm going to tell you.
We're here on a petition and suit affecting the parent-child relationship that our office filed 6/26/2024. I'd like the court to take judicial notice of the acknowledgement of paternity attached to our petition. And then I'd also like the court to admit into evidence an AOP for a second child. Named both parties, I'm sorry, have agreed to go forward with adding order today.
Oh, she wasn't pled then?
Correct, Judge.
Okay. So just so that y'all know, as long as I hear that you both in your own voice agree to do that, then the order will say that you are actually waiving any defects in pleadings, notice, service regarding the second child, and both agree to add her to the paperwork today. Because if we don't, it'll be a delay to do all that. So I just want it on the record as well as on the testimony. So yes.
And I'll ask them as well.
Okay.
As far as the other issues, Judge, both parties are not in agreement on conservatorship. Mom is requesting sole managing conservatorship with no geographic restriction. Dad is requesting joint managing conservatorship with a geographic restriction to the state of Texas. And then based off of testimony, I will elicit, I think the state is going to be requesting sole managing conservatorship with no geographic restriction.
I'm surprised you all usually don't take a position on those issues, Ms. Teague. You just put them out there for me. But
yes. As far as visitation, Mom is requesting either no visitation or supervised visitation. Dad is requesting standard possession. Given that he does live in Virginia, he's requesting the standard visitation for over 100 miles apart.
How old
go ahead.
The kids before we go further?
Is about to turn 3 in August, so he's 2. And then Kev is 8 or 9 months old.
Okay.
Okay. As far as child support goes, the state is requesting that child support be set at guideline at $486. Mom is in agreement with that, but Dad is requesting a deviation downward. But I believe all the parties do agree that Dad's gross monthly income is $2,340. Okay. As far as medical, both parties are in agreement that Mom should carry the medical under a government medical insurance program, and that Dad should reimburse the state at $105 a month starting July 1st, 2025.
Okay.
Neither party is requesting back pay child support, and neither is the state. Or back pay medical or dental. No, nothing's requested. As far as disclosure, both parties are requesting and agree that their information should not be disclosed in the order.
A mutual one. Is it just because of agreement, or is there a third party involved, or is it their family violence, or you'll?
I'll go over it in testimony, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
And then for court costs, the state is requesting that court costs be assessed in this case.
Okay. I think that covers all the issues.
Yes, it does.
Okay, then you can proceed with calling your first witness.
All right. I'm going to call Miss Del Valle.
Okay.
All right, Miss Del Valle, can you state your name for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Marina del Valle de Jesus.
Okay. And did you hear the agreements I read onto the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you in agreement to those things?
Yes.
Okay. As far as to the order today, are you in agreement to that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And at this time, Judge, I do want to admit, well, I guess I can ask Dad later. I'll admit it into evidence later. I'm sorry, Judge.
Okay.
Okay. And how old is your oldest child?
My oldest is 6.
Okay. And is that child with dad in this case?
No, ma'am. He's in summer school right now.
Okay. How old is your oldest child that you have with Mr. Scott?
He's 2 and about to turn 3
Okay.
in August.
And how old is your youngest child with Mr. Scott?
9 months.
Okay. And is it your position today to request sole managing conservatorship?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell the court why you're requesting that?
I'm requesting it due to family violence.
Okay. Who primarily takes care of the children?
Me.
Okay. Do you take the kids to the doctor?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I know your children are still young, but do they go to daycare?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you decide where they would go to daycare?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you take them to daycare?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you said that you're requesting sole managing conservatorship because of some family violence issues. Can you tell the court a little bit about that?
Just in like general or
Yeah, just in general.
yes. I been with Mr. Scott for about 4 years, and there's been nothing but violence, not towards me at first, but it was towards my 6-year-old who's not his son. It was started off with bruises, and then it led to busted lip, a handprint across his face at just almost 2 years old. He wasn't 2 yet. After that, I got pregnant, and that's when everything started escalating. While I was pregnant, there would be times where he picked me up, he slammed me on the floor. There's been chokes where he's choked me on my neck. There's been times where he's grabbed me, threw me outside in my underwear, and I'm sorry, I'm getting very emotional. Threw me outside in my underwear in the cold, and locked me out of my house or our apartment. There's been moments where he would start instigating arguments, and he would touch me, like put his hands in my face, push me. I'm sorry.
It's okay. When was the most recent event?
The most recent one so far was when he came down to visit. She turned a week old. Everything was fine when I picked them up. The only thing that happened was that I had my son, which I was told by my parents to keep him away from him, but I was in a rush to pick up the kids from daycare to go get him at the airport. And when I picked him up at the airport, my dad ended up coming to the airport to pick him. There was no yelling match, or my dad didn't go off on him, get in his face. It was very cordial. He said to just return his vehicle back to his house and go wherever we need to go, calling Uber. After that, my dad took back in the truck, left, and that's when Travis blew up, just started cussing out in the wind. When my dad was driving away, calling him names and saying things, screaming. Finally, when we got in the vehicle, I told him to calm down because it's over with. It happened. My dad left. He's gone. He just kept screaming and just kept saying horrible things. He kept saying he was going to kill my dad. After that, I told him to please calm down because he didn't want to listen to me. Instead, he just yelled louder and told me he didn't give a shit. I'm sorry for my language. He just kept repeating the same thing, how he doesn't care, that wait till he gets his hands on my dad. And he just kept yelling at me until I took an exit and I drove to a gas station and I told him to get out of the vehicle. When at this point, I had tried. When he gets out of the vehicle, he starts taking out his gun case and he puts his guns in his backpack. And kept telling me how he's gonna kill my dad. After that, I just got in the vehicle and I left. And I didn't look back. I didn't drive back.
Now, when did you said that this happened a week old? Do you have a approximate month and day, a year?
September. It was the 26th, September 26th, of 2024.
Okay. Was there a police report filed?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Were there any sort of charges that came out of this police report?
They said, unfortunately, they couldn't do it because he was already leaving the state to go back home.
Okay. Now, you did say that Mr. Scott was abusive towards you, and you told the court a little about those instances. When did those happen?
Those happened around maybe the beginning of 2022, maybe the end of 2021. I'm not really too sure. It all started happening when I found out I was pregnant with.
Okay. Now, has he ever been abusive toward the children at all?
He's the only time I've seen him be abusive towards the children is when Travis was about 3 months old and he was crying, and I guess Travis had a bad day and he turned around in the car and yelled at him and told him to shut up. Another one was when we were trying to go to sleep, waking up because he wasn't feeling good. He told him to go back and lay down. He didn't do it, so he grabbed him and threw him into his bed and told him to lay down. And then just carried on like nothing happened.
And when did these instances happen?
These happened while we were in Pennsylvania around maybe in February of 2024.
Okay. And you said that you were living in Pennsylvania at the time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you live in Hayes County now?
Yes, ma'am.
And when did you move back to Texas in Hayes County?
I moved back in May of 2024, May 12th on Mother's Day.
Are there any other instances of family violence or abuse that you'd like to tell the court today?
There's just been plenty of times where it's just there's 2 records where a neighbor has called the police on him for choking me, for holding me down. There was a time in Virginia when really young, he was 3-4 months old, and he turned him around in his stool where he eats his food and told them, "Watch me beat up your mom." He's told the kids that he's gonna kill me. He's dragged me around the house in front of the kids.
Okay. And as you did say that the police were called in September of 2024 and that no charges, and that was in Texas, no charges came out of that one. Have the police ever been called for any other instance of family violence?
Yes, ma'am, in Pennsylvania. I'm not sure if it was in March or April.
Of what year?
Of 2024. He was pinning me down and choking me, and he had his hand over my mouth, and I was able to open the door and I yelled out help, and one of the neighbors called the police. That night the police officers got there, and they put me aside and took me. I remember before they asked me to come outside, he told me to put a hoodie on or a sweater, and I didn't listen, and they ended up seeing the marks on my neck, so they took him in.
Okay. And do you know what came about of that police report and taking him in?
They were wanting to give him a felony for having his hands around my neck. But I was by myself. I didn't have any family there, so I pleaded them to just not do that. So with that one, I think it was that he got a misdemeanor and he had to do community service and a domestic violence class online. He had to get a certificate for it.
Okay. Okay. So given all of this, are you comfortable with Mr. Scott having visitation of your children, with your children?
No.
If the court were to order some visitation today, you know, what kind of visitation would you like to see?
I would prefer supervised.
I didn't hear it.
I'm sorry. I meant I would prefer supervised.
Okay. Supervised visitation. And I haven't asked Mr. Scott any questions, but do you know where Mr. Scott currently lives?
In Virginia.
So if the court did order visitation, you would request that it be supervised. Would you be okay with it being one weekend a month?
Well, if it's for supervision, I would do one day out of the month, preferably.
Okay. Do you have anyone to supervise visitations?
I have family, but I'm not just scared for myself or my kids. It's my family too. He's very explosive, especially with my dad. So I don't know anybody who would be able to sit there and do that with him.
Would you be okay with maybe having it at a supervision center? It would be a third, like a company that does supervised visitations.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to move on to some other questions. And I'm just going to ask for the record that you are in agreement that dad's gross income is $2,340, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're requesting that child support be set at $486?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, starting July 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
And then you're in agreement to continue to carry a government medical insurance program for the children?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And you're not requesting any back pay child support today, is that correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. And you're also requesting that your information not be disclosed, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further for Miss Del Valle, Judge.
Okay, you want to call your next witness, Ms. T?
Yes, I'm going to call Mr. Travis Scott. All right, Mr. Scott, will you state your full name for the record?
Travis Terrell McKinley Scott.
Okay. And I'm going to go through some of these agreements that I read into the record because I know that was a little bit ago. Do you agree that mom should continue to carry the government medical insurance and that you agree to reimburse the state at $105 a month?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're in agreement that no one's asking for back pay child support?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you're in agreement that you and mom's information should not be disclosed in the order?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I'm going to start with the child support. So, you're not in agreement that child support should be set at $486. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am. I'm not in agreement.
Okay. Are you in agreement that your gross monthly income is $2,340?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you tell the court what you're requesting in regards to child support?
I'm requesting $400 a month. That's what we had been doing originally up and since she's left. And, that hadn't been an issue, especially when right now I'm currently paying for a storage unit housing all of our items from the Pennsylvania apartment that we had that she was supposed to be taking over when she left.
Okay. And real quick, do you have any other children besides the two in this case?
No, ma'am. I just have the two.
Okay. So you said that you're paying for a storage unit, that's got mom's stuff in it?
And the children's.
And the children's stuff in it. How much do you pay for that?
$134 a month.
Okay. Do you pay for anything in regards to like the children's daycare or anything extra for the children like that?
No, ma'am, not regarding like daycare, health care. That's all being taken care of through state benefits and things of that.
And you said that there was an agreement at $400 a month. Can
Well,
you tell me a little bit more about that?
Yes, ma'am. It wasn't a verbal agreement. When I got down into the Virginia area in August, I had retroactively started sending $200 every 2 weeks, and that became the custom up until now, until April, when we had a falling out regarding me being able to see my kids, and she had cut contact with me completely, saying she didn't need anything from me.
I'm going to move on to some conservatorship questions, okay? So it's my understanding that you're requesting joint managing conservatorship today. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. And I know mom has just testified to some family violence. Can you tell the court why you're requesting joint managing conservatorship and maybe respond, I guess, to anything that mom was saying about the family violence instances?
Yes, ma'am. Regarding her testimony, a lot of that's just relationship hearsay and false allegations. These allegations of her saying me being arrested, going to trial, I was dismissed of all those charges in Virginia and in Pennsylvania. Regarding in Pennsylvania, they had given me a conviction for just misconduct, which is a Class C misdemeanor, on the same level in Texas as a traffic ticket. Since then, there hasn't been any other stipulations. I love my kids. I'm there and day out and day for them. When they were living with me, I made sure they were going to daycare. I was picking them up. Anything that was having to be done at the house, I was there to help her. She was a stay-at-home mom. She did do a great job with the kids, but I was also there helping her out.
Okay. So I'm going to start at the beginning. So you and mom lived together when your oldest was born, correct?
He was born in August 2022, and we moved to Virginia August 15th of 2022. He had only lived in Texas for 2 weeks.
Okay. But you guys were living together as a family?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And when did you guys separate?
Of May 2024. She originally told me she was going to go visit her mom for Mother's Day and would be coming back in 2 weeks, and then told me she wasn't bringing the children back.
Okay. So you lived with your oldest child for a little bit in the same household?
Almost his whole life up until May. So for 2 years of his life.
Okay. And once she moved, what was the visitation schedule like?
There was no visitation. She didn't allow me to come get the children. I believe she thought I would come and get the children and not bring them back, but all I wanted to do was spend time with my kids. I made multiple attempts, to find out a time I could come and pick them up. But every time I did ask, I was shot down. We did come to agreement in spring of 2024 for his spring break period. That was just during the time where they were having all the issue with the planes falling out the sky. I didn't feel like it was a very safe time for me to go down there and get him and bring him back on a plane.
Okay. Now, when you guys did live together, did you, help mom take care of the kids? Did you take the kids to the doctor?
Yes,
to
ma'am.
daycare or anything
I
like
was
that?
very active in when he was sick. I was making sure I was home. I was a sole provider, so I was working 44 hours a week. But when I came home, I would always spend time with him. I would put him to bed. I would feed him. When mom was in the hospital, she had a surgery right before she moved. She had a surgery while she was in the hospital for a week and a half. I was a sole provider for him, taking care of him. So it's not anything new for me to be there and be in my child's life.
You're in agreement that the children though do live with mom, correct? And they should continue to live with mom?
Yes, ma'am. I don't want to uproot their life again and make them continue to move multiple states. It's happened once already, and they should be in an environment that's stable and they'll be able to thrive and grow.
Okay. Okay. I'm going to move on to some questions about the geographic restriction because I know you guys are not in agreement to that. Mom is requesting no geographic restriction, but you're requesting a restriction to the state of Texas. Can you tell the court why you're requesting that?
A lot of the support for our children are in that Texas area that she's currently residing in now. And then another thing I was also a little bit confused about with the information being redacted. It was hard for me to be able to get a different standard procession order, let's say under 100 miles, 50 miles, because the information would be redacted. So technically I wouldn't know where they would be staying. But the biggest thing is about the support for my children as they grow up. And the biggest support network that they have for my family and her family is in Texas.
Okay. 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 And as far as the family violence that mom had testified to, you said that those charges were dismissed?
Yes, ma'am. All charges were dismissed. In Virginia and then in Pennsylvania, charges were dismissed. And then I was only charged with a misconduct, which is on the level of a traffic ticket in Texas, which is a misdemeanor C.
Okay. Okay. Now, as far as visitation, what are you requesting as far as visitation for the children going forward?
I'm requesting the standard possession order for over 100 miles. And I'm also requesting with that August 3rd of this year. So I'm requesting that order starts then and I'm able to exercise my rights and be able to pick him up within that summertime period. I know it won't be for 42 days, but I would like to keep him for about 2 to 3 weeks right before he starts school. I know she's very young and her being away from her mom is very detrimental at a young age. So I'm looking to develop a step-up plan with her where I can do day visits a month with her and then progress into her staying overnight and then being on the standard possession order.
Okay. And let me ask this before we get into the step up. You are agreeing to move forward as far as the issues regarding Catalina, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Even though she wasn't pled for on our documents.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And before we go any further, since I have the agreement of both parties, Judge, I'd like to submit into evidence the acknowledgement of paternity.
I assume there's no objection, Mr. Scott?
I'm sorry?
Any objection to the AOP, the acknowledgement of paternity?
No, ma'am.
Signed,
No, ma'am.
filed in the court file. Ms. Del Valle, do you have any objection?
No, ma'am, I don't.
Then I will admit the AOP for Catalina into the record.
And I did send that to your email, Judge, if you do want to look at it.
Okay.
Okay. So as far as the visitation for Catalina, you said that you are requesting a step up.
Yes.
For phase one, are you requesting something along, excuse me, along the lines of 1 weekend per month when you come and see standard?
Yes, ma'am. I believe that would be easiest when I go to pick up Chum as well.
Okay. And you're requesting these be day visits, correct?
Currently, yes, ma'am, right now.
Okay. And then unsupervised, is that what you're requesting?
I would like unsupervised. I know she's very young, so I would work with her mom, figure out what's best for her right now. So if she would like to have supervised for Catalina, I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Okay. Would you be opposed to supervised visitations at a supervision center?
I wouldn't be opposed to it. I don't know the cost associated with something like that, but I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Okay. Okay. Now, as a step up, and we talked about this a little bit before, but you're okay with 8 visits at the first phase of the step up, correct?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. And for the second phase, were you requesting something along the lines of the first and third weekend of every month?
Yes, ma'am. To gain more time to build a bond with her. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And are you requesting these be unsupervised?
I would like them to eventually become unsupervised in that second phase.
Okay. And did you want to continue the day visits for phase 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then are you requesting that phase 2 continue for 36 visits?
That would be up until the age of 3, or
Yes.
yes, ma'am. And then I would request it go to the standard possession order.
Okay. Now, as far as communication, if visitation is ordered today, are you okay with communicating through an app called App Close?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Okay. All right. And Judge, I think that is all that I have for Mr. Scott.
Okay. Mr. Scott, you heard, oh, did she leave? No, there she is. I'm sorry. You heard Ms. Del Valle's testimony.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you explain that, and how, or that the stories are so different, and
Yes, ma'am.
who should I believe? I mean, it's kind of, I get this all the time, you know, that he said, she said, but when it comes to the level of family violence, whether no big deal, yes, big deal, I don't flip coins. How the heck am I going to know who's telling me the truth here today?
Definitely. I would want to say that a big piece of the information was left out. So in 2022, in December, she had caught me cheating. And ever since then, she had became very aggressive and violent because she felt like I was continuing to do to her. So this has been an ongoing issue with Morena, where she has these big falling outs. If I don't basically, the phrase I want to use is fall in line or do what she's asking of me, she has these very aggressive outbursts. So a lot of times where we've had issues, I would tell her to calm down, or I'm going to take my son and we're going to go, we're going to let you calm down in here. And that's where she tells me she's going to call the police and do all these crazy things to me. That's why with a lot of these allegations that have come up, they have been dismissed because there's no substantial evidence to be seen from their investigation.
How do you explain the airport incident, or how do you see that?
Yes, ma'am. The airport incident. So originally I was supposed to get an Uber to meet her at my hotel with the children. I did tell her that I wasn't comfortable with, riding with her because I knew me and her family don't have the best of agreements. So at the time she did come and pick me up. But what she had told me was that she didn't tell her parents that she was picking me up or that she was bringing her son with them. So when we were leaving the airport, her father had pulled up very aggressively, lifted dually truck, getting out the car. He had somebody with him, was slamming the door, was very aggressive with her. He didn't say much to me. The man didn't say much to me, but he was very aggressive with us, with her and the children, saying that she needs to let with her. So after he left, I was very agitated, telling her that you did put me in a predicament where something bad could have happened to me. I was in a man's car that first he didn't want me in his vehicle. You didn't tell him that you were coming to pick me up. And third, you didn't tell him you were bringing your son. This could have ended very badly for me. And you don't see the issue behind it. So I was very irate. I was very upset, but I wasn't screaming. I wasn't yelling profanities. I was going to kill her father or anything like that. I requested her to drop me off at the gas station because I thought her family was going to say that I stole the car or anything like that. So I just asked her to drop me off, and my family had got me an Uber, got me sent to the hotel, and then I took a flight back to Pennsylvania. Since that occurrence, she has been wanting to get back in a relationship with me up until May of this year, when I got the court proceeding that we would be going to court for the child custody.
You just created more distance between your stories.
I'm sorry?
You just created more of a discrepancy between your stories, yours and hers. And what do you think I'm sitting here thinking? Well, one of you is not telling the truth, or both of you not telling the truth. And then we have a problem that I did not create, is your long distance. It's like, that's an even harder situation to deal with. You just think you're going to fly in once a month and be able to afford it and come regularly every month for the weekend?
Yes, ma'am, I am. For my children, yes, ma'am.
I've never seen that happen, and I've been numerous years, quite a few years, ordering that kind of visits for long distance, and it just doesn't happen, but because it gets to be very expensive. You think with your income, you'd be able to afford all those trips, even monthly?
I have family support in this area that are willing to help me, and I'll do anything to be able to see my kids. So if I have to drive, take a train, I'll be able to do what I need to do to be able to provide and be there for them.
And you know, nobody in Hayes County that would, that she would know and approve as a supervisor?
Uh, Technically, when I'm not from the Hayes County area, grew up mostly in Dallas, and she grew up mostly a little bit further in Victoria, Texas. So I don't have anybody that's currently that she knows that's in the Austin area that I feel like she would agree to watch them.
And it sounds like you shouldn't be anywhere near her family. Is that what I'm hearing? No matter what they
But
do?
I've gotten to the point where I've let go every issue that we've had with her family. The biggest thing was that during the time that she originally got pregnant, her father had helped us obtain a vehicle. I had made a payment on the vehicle, but once he had found out I cheated on his daughter, after making that payment, he came and repossessed the vehicle. And that's kind of been the falling out since. I've came to the point since she's left in May 2024 that I'm not going to continue going down that road of having arguments with her family, because that just takes me further away from my kids. So I'm not looking to have any issues with her family. So whatever we can do to come to agreement to what's best for the children, I'm all there for it.
Well, you can, that's what I get paid to do too. But when I get this kind of discrepancy between stories,
I understand.
What do you think would work? Just start slow with the supervised with both of them maybe, and you'd be willing to do that?
I don't believe Travis needs to have supervised visits. He was never in harm's way with me. The allegations and with my record shows that there's no convictions. And I've been a staple in his life up until May 2024, where he was alienated away from me through legal alienation. She was allowed to take the child from Pennsylvania, which he resided there for 6 months, and then did the proceedings in Texas. I understand that her being younger. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, yes, if this, I'm glad to hear it.
I was just going to say, I know Catalina being younger, that supervised visits is the normal in Texas. But with Travis, I believe that since I've been around, I haven't had any issues. No evidence or correlation coming with this, that I should be able to have unsupervised visits and the standard possession order.
You heard what you said about your relationship. I'm about to respond to that.
She still has him calling me. I have messages prior up until March of her sending me pictures, him talking to me on the phone. Every time I talk to him on the phone, since he wants to talk to daddy, she still tries to have me procure a relationship with me. I can't speak for her on what she knows, but I was in since he was a year old, and I was hard on Mateo because I wanted him to be as best as he could be, because he didn't have a father figure in his life. And her parents and her have a different way of parenting to me, and that's something that we've always been on different spectrums about. And that's kind of that issue there. So they didn't like my parenting style of where I held him accountable for his actions. They thought he was too young to be held accountable, and that's kind of been our biggest differences when it comes to raising our kids.
What about differences in how you treat people, including putting hands on necks?
I don't believe in putting hands on people. I do believe in protecting yourself. So if you're getting attacked, I do believe that you have the right to protect yourself, but I wouldn't intentionally put people in harm's way or do harm to anybody on purpose. That's not something I'm looking to do or have ever done to anybody.
So you're saying here and under oath that you never dragged her, pushed her, or choked her?
No, ma'am. I protected myself from her after she's been mad at me for the things I've said or for allegations I've done before, like cheating, but I've never just went up to her and just started attacking her. I've always been in a protection mode. I'm not a person to just hit women or anything. That's not someone that I am. That's not how I was raised.
And how would you come visit? Would flying every month or what?
So regarding Travis,
just initially, let's just start slow. Just initially to come here for any kind of visit. I can't put kids on plane right now to travel without an adult or anything like that. So you'd have to come here.
Yes, ma'am.
How would you get here?
Majorly I would fly, or I would drive secondary if I couldn't fly.
And you're prepared to stay here a weekend at least?
Yes, ma'am. I have the I don't not the resources, but I have the support and the time to be able to take time off of work to be able to stay there longer than the weekend, and also in the summer during their longer periods of time that they'd be able to stay with me. I'll be able to have the support in place to be able to do that.
And even to rent a hotel room to stay here while you're here?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you be alone or would you be having somebody travel with you?
I would be alone. I I wouldn't plan on bringing anybody with me to come visit my children. It would just be myself.
Okay, anything else you want to say, Mr. Scott?
No, ma'am. The only thing I would like to add is that I just want to come to a mutual agreement with Miranda kind of regarding our kids, because I just want the best for both of them.
Okay,
I'm
Mr.
just here in the
Scott,
best interest of them.
you're in a courtroom and asking a judge to make a ruling, so there is no more agreements. You didn't
Yeah.
make any before you got here, so I'm
I
requiring.
understand.
You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there anything you think you could offer here right now that she would accept?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, ma'am.
Ms. Del Valle? Del Valle?
Yes, ma'am.
How do you respond?
Honestly, I've been going to therapy for about a year now. And I don't want to keep bringing something up and having to deal with it again. He can sit here and say he didn't do anything, that it was me because of what he did, but he was doing that before he initially said that he was cheating on me. I just want to get things resolved already. I'm sorry.
Your resolution is for him not to see the kids or have such limited time, especially because of the distance. How do I resolve it that way? He has some rights. There are his kids. How do I resolve it?
I'm not sure, honestly.
Did you honestly, under oath, I get that people get angry and sometimes it gets out of control. You never lifted a finger towards him, or he was trying to defend himself against you versus the other way around all the time? Just tell me.
I will never lie about putting my hands on anybody, because if I did, but it was moments that he's already drove me crazy. He's put his hands on me. It's either he's putting his hands on me first, throwing things at me, throwing a pillow at me, telling me to get off the bed because he bought it. And I tell him no, that I just want to lay here and go to sleep. I have put my hands on him. Yes, I have. But it was because of him putting his hands on me. I'm sorry.
Well, I'd rather hear the truth. I really would. And so if you admit something, well, at least I know you're not completely lying. And I'm trying to figure out he's lying.
No, ma'am, I don't want to lie about anything. I've been dealing with this man for a long time, with him playing games in my head, driving me crazy, antagonizing me to a point where, yes, he drives me to a point where I just can't take it anymore.
Okay. Ms. T, do you know any places that would, in Hays County, I think there is it Kids in Touch or something that's available in Hays County? Have you looked that up for me?
I'm not sure, but I can definitely do a cursory look to see if there is a supervision center that we can.
Because I think it's one of the bigger counties, so it might, and I think it does have something available. Because if I can't trust you all in the same room, and you clearly shouldn't. Well, let me ask you this. Were you really trying to reconcile up until May with him? Is that true?
I was, when I first moved down here, because I was going through a period of detachment with him, and trying to, I guess like what my therapist says is realign my nervous system because what he was doing was like an addiction to where even if he hit me or if he hurt me, the only person who could fix me was him. But I wasn't after that. I tried my best to just keep everything cordial, just trying to kind of make him happy so he would care about his kids. But in all honesty, know who he is. Every time I try to FaceTime him to be a good mom so he can talk to Travis, Travis doesn't pay him any type of attention. He turns his face. He doesn't feel like talking to him.
Okay, you know, the kids don't get to decide what should happen. You get that the kids don't get to decide what happened at this young age, get to decide that they get to see their father and not. You get that, right?
Yes, ma'am. I just want the decision to be played out to where and no one can believe what we've been through, because no one knows what we've been through except for us and my family. But I can tell, and this is from me having to experience him grow as I was young with my other son and growing into this. And it probably doesn't matter. The man is evil. He's great with his words. He knows how to put things together. He knows how to dialect. And he knows how to get me like this. That's part of the reason why I try to keep my camera off. I just want to make sure my kids just don't go through what I went through with him. That's all I want. I just don't want him to put my kids outside because they did something wrong and he wants to teach them a lesson and put them in the things I went through with this man. I just don't want it to happen to my kids. That's all I want. That's all I'm asking for.
Did you find anything, Ms. Teague?
Yes, I believe that there is a Kids in Touch Supervision Center in Hayes. It's in Buda, I believe.
You don't know, did they post their list of costs or what costs, whether exchanges or supervision or any of that?
See, I'm on their website. So their fees for services for on-site visitation is $65 an hour. They also do off-site visitations. Those are $80 an hour. Neutral exchanges, which I don't think is going to be relevant for this case, but those are $25 an hour.
Okay. Does it say maximum number of hours? I know you can't.
It does not.
Does it have, I think they're aware that most people have visitation on weekends and they might not have a restriction or be closed for that.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, Judge?
Yeah, I'm talking about weekends. When people come in on weekends, I assume they have no bar to that because most visitation orders do happen weekends. It doesn't have anything on that.
No.
Saturday, Sunday times, no.
No, they don't have specific times. However, I mean, as far as I'm aware, Kids in Touch